Deja vu, boys, huh? Here again, about to talk about the same exact things yet again.
Do we even need to keep recording podcasts, or can everybody just go back and listen to the previous episode and the one before that for the rest of the season?
Well, I think we just hit about 20 seconds, so we officially lasted longer than Orlando City did on Saturday night without conceding. So, shout out to the boys.
Oy, come on.
How many
Good
minutes
job.
in until we can say we officially lasted longer than Schlegel in that match?
About halfway through the pod.
Until I can cuss.
28 minutes.
Was it that late?
I think it was 28 minutes, no?
Yeah, it was around 25, 26 minutes. I think it's 28 is probably the right number. I feel like it was in the 20th for sure.
So we got another minute and a half probably until that, I'd say. Or no, wait, no. We're a minute and a half in. Another 21 and a half minutes, probably now 21 minutes, 15 seconds. The time and the math is not happening.
There's got to be a crazy line on Schlegel red anytime red.
Minus 250.
I'm going minus 350.
I was going to say minus 1.5, 1.5, 1,500.
Minus 1,500. That's probably a fair line.
Where do you find those lines, Cannata?
Bet Online, today's sponsor.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and the NHL playoffs. They have all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
You know where the game did not start?
Down their side of the pitch.
Obviously in Orlando, because we just fell asleep.
Oh, it started.
17.
Game started there. We didn't.
We didn't. Robin
We were
didn't.
still on the bus.
Wheeler didn't start it. Since he started, Lucho Acosta sure as all get out started. You know, like that little save there pre 10 minutes. That whole little sequence just was not a great way to start the match, and it definitely did not get the atmosphere inside and or outside of the stadium into the right mood to go on and potentially win this match.
No, you just see the defeated body, postures from the team right away, 17 seconds in. Like, we concede goals and the team is able to bounce back and get right back into it. Sometimes mistakes happen, but just immediately for it to happen like that, 17 seconds in, like we had lost that game 17 seconds in to that match.
Brother, we lost the game when we saw Schlegel was starting. Like
that too.
It's the truth. As much as we want to not say it and beat around the bush, I said it a couple podcasts ago. Unfortunately, fortunately, back then he didn't make a horrendous decision or anything stupid. Here we are, and I apologize for my comments because he messed up.
No, yeah, I mean, yet again another Schlegel mistake. I mean, we've come to expect that. I said it to you guys before. I think my big question is if Brekalo was healthy enough to go from the 28th on, why was he not in the starting lineup realistically? I understand we want to rest, make sure he's fully good, but if we had doubts, he wouldn't have been in that team.
Yes, I think it would have been fine to bring him on for about 20 minutes, but then that plan goes down the drain. And do you have what is your other option? You bring Mikey Holiday on, which we did also see come into the match, but you do just kind of have to take a chance at that point and play him. Agreed. If it isn't that bad and he can play the 75 minutes, whatever it was, then yeah, he could probably start and play the whole 90. But at the same time, it's not a terrible thing that we had him come in for 75 minutes. It gives us hope that at least he can play in the next match.
Something that bothered me, though, is the fact that we went into a faux back five immediately upon conceding. We saw Wilder sit super deep in between the center backs. it was just kind of like, what? Like, we're not trying to be the protagonist here. We're kind of admitting defeat.
And I feel like they gave us all the chances to be the protagonist. And you saw how that went, because I would say we probably were the better team after, like 25 minutes into the game when we finally
We
got.
were never the better team. I'm so tired of hearing that.
You can say that we controlled the game, but it's because they allowed us to control the game. They sat back. There's the picture that you sent to the group chat right before this of how deep they exactly sat and just allowed us to try to play. They basically just said, they dangled a goal right out in front of us and said, come get it if you want. But here we are sitting with a donut still on our scoreboard, not scoring a single goal. I mean, it's still had 10 to 15 minutes of Cincinnati also down to 10 men, and you can't put something away. Just frustrating, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how. I mean, I understand it because that's exactly how I would play us too. On the road here in Orlando, literally just tell your team it's going to be a team defensive match for 90 minutes. They can't score unless you make a mistake. So just be disciplined in the way that you're going to play, and they won't be able to break you down and find that goal.
And they're able to do that because they know that they have people on their roster that can finish. We do have one of those, that is Duncan. But other than that, it is hard to find someone that consistently score goals for us. So they have the ability to do that because they can score 17 seconds in, and then they can sit and defend because they also have the ability to defend. Our clean sheet record this season is practically out the window. We can't not concede. We had a clean sheet against who?
First one that comes off is Austin.
Austin,
right.
yeah. Montreal. First match of the season. Was it 0-0 against Tigres at one point, or is it 1-1?
The away one was 0-0, I want to say.
There you go. But then I'm not really counting Calvary. And even then, we still conceded one to Calvary in the two matches. Defensive record has been a little short.
Shambles.
Yeah. And we bring in Brekalo, and we think it's going to be better. Dagardan's playing it right back. You have Rafael Santos, Robin Janssen. And it's still just not good enough. If anything, worse than last season.
Yeah, well, that's another talking point right there. Both of our starting fullbacks, had to leave the game with injuries. Dagardan with what looks to be concussion protocols, and Santos with dislocated shoulder. That thing was flopping around out there, man.
I think I can be happy in saying that I didn't exactly see what happened. I feel like I would have been a little squeamish if I did. Dagardan, he might have thought he was back in Iceland, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, but he looked like he had no idea where he was. I'm not going to lie.
But he continued to try to play, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we all do. We all do. Like that's the problem with it, and that's why there's these protocols and stuff in play now to stop athletes from trying to do what I would say probably everybody in this room has tried to do with a concussion.
Yes.
Fail the baseline test so you can get right back on the field.
Yeah. That's if you report it.
Fair.
True.
Probably might have a big old bump on my head now.
Yeah. That or maybe headbutting the lockers before games. Probably a combination of both, buddy.
There's a lot of things that happen.
Anyway, back on topic. So that's a huge blow for us.
I think Dave had a question to ask.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the game. What minute did they both get hurt at?
Oof.
It
was
right before half, and then Rafael Santos came off 52nd.
Great. So we played almost a half without our first choice center back. Not center back, sorry. First choice right back, first choice left back, and our first choice center back coming in halfway through the first half.
with us a man down.
shambles.
I said with us a man down as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would try to make the excuse for him, but we did concede 17 seconds in, and all of this did happen after that. So besides Schlegel being in there, which did play a part in them scoring that early on, we had 3/4 of our starting back line in there. Wielder can't track Luciano Acosta running in behind. Robin Janssen and Rodrigo Schlegel are split wide open right down the middle, and all Acosta has to do is stay onside and then pray that Schlegel makes a mistake. At this point, you don't even really have to pray; you just watch it happen. And he goes and
Just wait for it.
and then he's got a wide open goal to shoot at. So, whole situation.
Well, at least Robin was out there protecting Schlegel from the incoming blast because Schlegel just decided to hide behind him in all of that madness. So, shout out to you, Robin.
Want to talk
The
about
goat.
I was going to say not, but 22 minutes later, 22 and a half minutes later, this man decides that he's going to try to play footsie with himself, not get a touch on the ball. Instead, I'd rather him just boot it. Let's lose possession instead of going down it. Well, actually, I don't know. Technically, we did control the game after he went off. Maybe in all reality, he was doing it for us.
Brother, we still lost 1-0.
Yes, but we
Well,
physically
Well, we had a
controlled the
better
game.
chance with him off the field than we did on it.
Yes.
But we still lost. We're fighting a 10v11 battle.
At least
I'd love to.
fucking 3 or 4. It's true.
I'd love to see the side by side of that red card and the red card against Columbus in the playoffs last year, because I don't know why, but I feel like both of them were like eerily similar to each other, because I saw it and it was like he may have just done this in the past at another point in time, but I feel like it was just PTSD.
It was a little different. The one this time you're sliding in. I think the one against Columbus was just him holding someone back for the second yellow. It wasn't a straight. That's right. No, because he was on a. Remember, it was halftime. He said he's on a yellow. We need to bring him off.
I think it was before halftime.
No, but during half. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Different but the same. Yeah, he's an idiot, but here we are.
He goes in, he makes a stupid challenge, light contact. I guess he was deemed as the last man. Dagger Dan was, I'm pretty sure, pretty level with him. It's a red, but you made your own mistake putting yourself in that situation, then you go and try and fix it, and it's just reckless. But that screams, that's Rodrigo Schlegel right there. He makes a mistake, he hurts himself, and then tries to get back, and he makes the situation even worse. So we won't be seeing him definitely against Philly on Saturday. But who knows about Wednesday?
Well, is it straight red? Isn't it with 2-match ban?
Who knows in the MLS at this point?
Or ideally, he's out for at least 2.
At least the rest of the season, right?
I was
That
going to
was
say
cynical.
suspended from the MLS.
I think that was the
That's a
worst challenge
crazy
I've ever
idea.
seen.
yeah,
I agree.
heard rumors that he was betting on the game too. So, gotta end the career there, buddy. Sorry.
Did he end up at a tier nightclub after the game too?
Bro, the amount of tweets and like posts I saw about that's like, all right, who we waking up to getting arrested at tier tomorrow?
Oh, it's off camera.
Sure.
Thing. Heard.
Yeah, so then we had a good amount of quote unquote control for the rest of the match. We're able to get some shots off. There was one goal that was called back. A Facundo Torres would have been assist to a Wielder Cartagena. He did lash it home, to be fair. But Facundo just slightly offsides, and then even still, maybe it was a little push in the back before he laid it back off to Wielder. So it just wasn't going to happen for us Saturday night, was it?
And then, Facundo had a wide open goal. All he needed was a touch earlier on in the first half.
Yeah, that's true.
Couldn't finish that. It's just the same shit. We can't finish. And last year we exceeded our expected goals. And now we're just here vibing. Vibes FC.
No, it's not even that. It's just shit.
Yeah,
The
see,
thing is, at least last year when Duncan started slowing to kind of pick up the pace. This year, Duncan isn't getting service. He's still scoring some goals, but there is absolutely no one behind him to put something in the back of the net. So that's what happens. That's what you get. Losses keep coming in. It's going to be the same story over and over again.
Yeah, without Duncan McGuire's goals this year, I think we are actually dead last in the league, or in the East for sure.
I think New England is 2-1-7. I think they're 2 points behind us. So I know with the loss at DC, did he score a brace there, or was it just the winner in the last minute, or 90+1?
I don't know.
Even then, you'd go from 3 points to 1 point, and you're right on. Yeah, no, you would be right on level with New England somehow. Right, we're at 9 points. They're at 7. I think maybe they're at 6. I don't.
Yeah, but then you take a draw earlier in the season with a Duncan goal to now a loss, and that puts us behind them. I could be wrong, but I feel like that was the math I did.
Yeah, we could be very easily dead last. So you can keep making excuses for this team as long as you want, but at some point you do actually have to see change. And as of right now, we are not seeing change. We are seeing a common theme of starting seasons like absolute shit, and then it's kind of getting better. That has only happened once, but we can't keep going down this route of digging ourselves a massive hole to then try to go and win the league. You can't start a season like that and win the league.
Thing is, like, even though we've got in the playoffs, we see the same shit in the playoffs. We're slow. We don't want to be the protagonist, and we lose, and we get knocked out. So, like, what are we waiting for to get better and to get worse and go out first round every year? No improvement. And there's years of stats to back this up now. So what are we doing?
Yeah, there's also
Sitting on our fucking igloo cooler
where's the
on the
whiteboard?
fucking touchline,
Timer?
draw some shit in the sand and be like, oh, hope it sticks.
Relax. All right, relax.
I'm tired of seeing
no,
that
no,
fucking
relax.
balding motherfucker.
Relax. We just need time to gel. All right.
That's true.
We need time to gel. We'll pick it up come October when we're still dead last. And come playoff time, we will work hard in Cancun and we'll get ready for the next season. All right. Just relax. We need the gel for 2025.
Dude, he needs gel for his fucking wig.
What
He needs to
wig?
fucking put some glue and get a little wig on him. I'm tired of seeing that little bald spot shine at me all game long.
All right.
So
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you put the post out earlier about his 10 matches every season, the first 10 matches, barring the COVID 2020 season. So 2021, we had 6-3-1. That's 6 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, correct?
Correct.
21 points, 17 goals for, 7 goals against, plus 10 goal differential. Move on to the next year. It is 5-2-3, 17 points, 12 goals for, 11 against, plus 1. Then you move on to 2023, and it's 4-2-4, 14 points, 10 for, 10 against, with a 0 goal differential. And then 2024 this year, we are 2-3-5, 9 points, 11 for, 18 against, with a -7 goal differential. Notice a trend here, boys.
It was very hard to put that post out and not add some sort of biased take at the end, if I'm being honest. So I'm glad I got just the stats.
Impartiality. Well done.
Yeah, I try my best when it comes to this, because if you show any sort of partiality towards one side, especially the side that we tend to be on, you just get absolutely criticized to all hell. So when you keep it like this, you're hoping to just get the facts out there and show some people what is actually going on. Now, yes, is this only the first 10 games of seasons? And last season, did we fully turn around, finish second in the league? Absolutely. You also can't deny that. But can you expect us? Huh?
I was going to say, can you do that every year?
No, you're not going to. You can't what was the word you used earlier? Over exceed. I don't even
Yeah,
know if that's a word.
probably, yeah.
Overachieve.
Well, overachieve. Your XG every year, probably underperform or like concede less goals than you were expected to concede. It's not going to happen every year, especially with the way that this team is performing right now. You have 1 goal, 2 assists from your 3 attacking DPs that you've signed this season. So you got the same amount of goal contributions for the amount of DPs that you have 10 games into the season. Now, do I truly believe that it is just down to talent off of that? No. There also has to be some sort of factor of how they are tactically being put out onto the pitch, how they're meant to play together. And I think there could be another manager out there that could turn this around. Sorry, don't mean to hurt an open wound here, but Crystal Palace has turned it around this season. Oliver Glasner has come in, turned Elise, Eze, Mateta into decently performing Premier League players. They are scoring well. I'm sorry, I really don't mean to. But you can see this turnaround, right? There's a new manager bounce too. That's all I'm saying. But that's where I'm at.
So you're correct. However, I was a big fan of Eze when he debuted in 2020, 2021. So he's always been a decent player. I just want to say that.
You got it. Yeah. But they are now performing better than they were under Roy Hodgson.
Correct.
So maybe it just takes tactics, new manager, bringing new philosophies in, bringing a new energy into the locker room, and seeing what happens. The grass isn't always greener, but dear Lord, do we got some
It may be
dead-ass
greener than
grass
dirt,
right now.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, the ideas are clearly not working. They're not sticking. Whatever's being conceptualized right now, it's gone stale. It's clear in the way that we play and the way that we can't score goals. So I agree. I mean, a new face is all it takes. Anytime. I mean, I feel like a really good example is Wilfred Nancy going to Columbus. You know, like Columbus was in a pretty bad slump before he comes in there, and then 2 years maybe
Something like that, yeah.
they win the league.
It helps to have Cucho and Diego Rossi.
Well, when you have the backing from the front office, that makes a big difference, because that's also a problem we got going on right now, because we have to believe, I don't know for sure, but I have to believe that Oscar was asking for us to go get a number 10. And like an actual number 10.
If not, that's a problem in and of itself.
Right. And we didn't get one. So it's like, I understand the ideology that like he has everything he needs and he's been backed. So how does he not perform? But at the same time, he hadn't truly been backed. We needed a playmaking number 10 to come in here, and we don't have one.
Yeah, you need a true number 10, not a Facundo or Ojeda that also play on the wings, and there's no consistent attacking mid. It's just them switching in and out, along with even Lodero now. So I think between the 3 of them, they have all played at least on the right side and or in the attacking mid spot in the lineup. So you're just getting no consistency in that front, and when you don't have consistency there, how are you supposed to build in the attack? How are you supposed to create real options? How are you supposed to put things away? It's not going to happen when you can't keep consistency and they're building that chemistry.
Well, that is also a trademark of Oscar Pereira here in Orlando too. How long were we crying for him to stop playing a different midfield every single week of the season? Like, it was incredible. We'd have over 3 years, we'd have 60-something games, 70-something games, and we'd see 65 different combinations in the midfield.
Maybe 67, no?
You might be right. Maybe we got back-to-back, like 8 and 10 pairing, but other than that, we'd switch somebody else out.
I don't know if there are actual factual things that you can look at with Oscar apart from winning the Open Cup, which, yes, very good achievement. But again, knockout competition, he did it there. He got us high up in the league last year, but we started like shit every single year. And then you got to dig yourself out of a hole. Would you rather start every season just being consistent and playing that way throughout the season and hopefully improving once you hit midseason form and whatnot? I would have to say yes.
Yeah, just start off at a high level and continue it. Maybe you see a slight drop off, but nothing too much. But I mean, to start the season off, loss, win in a different competition, win in a different competition, loss, draw. 2 wins through 2-3 months at this point. It's just embarrassing.
I kind of hit on this, but like he seems like he always figures that out during the season, and we don't really have a summertime sadness like we used to. But then when it matters and we get in those games that we need to win, he reverts back to like why he got fired at FC Dallas, why he got fired at Tijuana. He just doesn't learn from his mistakes, and he gets us there, and he just like.
Well, the thing is, wasn't last year the first season where we didn't really have a summertime sadness? Because we were all expecting to go into the break, not the break, but the summer window and fall off a cliff completely. But thankfully, somehow we miraculously saved the season from that point. This year, I don't see that at all. I don't see there's a way where we can possibly bounce back from this, especially with genuine question, what happens if Duncan goes out the window? What do we do then? Who are we going to get goals from? What's
Bring back Kara.
I was going to shake your hand and then you said that. Absolutely not.
like the only place we can get goals from right now is Duncan McGuire. He goes out the window. We keep conceding goals. We don't score. You're talking about an all-time low right there.
And not only that, this summer you got the Euros and you got
Copa America.
So we're gonna be losing Gillespie, Cartagena,
maybe Araujo, maybe
Araujo.
23 side.
I mean, at this point,
Facundo.
do they even make the national team?
They probably do.
I don't. Facundo might have
Based
dropped
on
off.
form.
Facundo, yeah. But
Based on
Gillespie,
form, I wouldn't take any of them right now.
You would have to
All
look
love
at
to
it.
Pedro, all love to Cartagena and all of them, but I mean, they're not performing right now.
you would have to look at their teams though. They've just been staples in that team, so I don't really know Peru football that much.
Fair enough, but
Stay quiet.
Well, I got a couple transfer rumors that are a possibility for us. If we want to run through those, but I want to give you guys a chance to give your final thoughts on the matches if you got them.
we suck.
Fair enough.
Not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else to be said that hasn't already been said.
All right. So then my first one that we're going to go with, he is 34. So I'm just going to preface it with that. But he has been playing at Real Madrid his entire career, came up through their youth system, announced he is going to be leaving this summer as a free agent, obviously. That is center back Nacho Fernandez. Brecalo can't stay healthy. Well, I hope he does. I'm not saying that because I want him to leave or anything. But it would give us consistency. This man doesn't really have an injury or a true injury history, lengthy or anything like that. I think it would be a good pairing with Robin. Yes, it's just adding another aging center back in. But you get 2 good years out of him. Let us find a partner for Brecalo, and then hopefully we have a decent center back pairing again. But I think Nacho Fernandez, who can also play right back and or left back, depending on how we can invert, can go into a 3-back with him, Brecalo, and Janssen. There's a talk to be had. He said that he wants to come to MLS. So obviously it's there, but apparently there are already links with Flamingo Pink team down there. They're just going to keep adding.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that.
So if we can make that happen, how does it sound?
Yes.
I mean, it's a quality signing.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I would like it more if we were gonna play in that 3-back with Brecalo, Robin, and him. But then after that, then there's no depth.
I mean,
Correct.
regardless, right now, if you look at what we have, it's an improvement.
Oh,
If we get him this summer, and then you still have Brecalo, if you keep a 2 center back system, you got Brecalo, Janssen, Nacho.
I'd be fine with it.
And even then we can see love Dagger Dan, but if not, even Nacho starts a right back and then he inverts, there's a talk to be had about it. My second possible even rumor at this point if Duncan goes, Kelechi Iheanacho, the former Man City man, currently at Leicester, contract expires this summer. He's been behind Jamie Vardy at Leicester basically his whole career. So we haven't really been able to see him flourish. I think he's had a couple good seasons under his belt, been a Premier League caliber striker basically his whole career. Played for Nigeria. If we get him on a free, we get money for Duncan. He kind of is the same build, same weight. He is the exact same height as Duvan Zapata. Two-striker system.
Yeah, the only problem with that one is, well, the only problem with any of these really is DP tags and stuff like that, like trying to make sure that we keep everybody under that threshold, because we're tied up with 3 DPs at the moment, you know what I mean?
If Fort Lauderdale gets away with it, giving us a chance.
Hey, if we attract big names, then there's a possibility there for sure. But Ian Nacho's another shout. It's somebody that I'd definitely like to see here in Orlando and not for somebody else.
I think it's a less of a possibility. There have been links with him in MLS before, but he is only 27 still. So he still has a little bit of his career. But if he's willing to come here and make a name for himself, I'm not complaining about Iheanacho wearing purple.
It's better than what we got, again, like I said. So why not?
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, whether Duncan, he's probably going to leave. So I feel like he already has one foot out the door, not in the way he's performing, but just how his last window went. So you're going to have to do something. He'd be a class signing. Because right now, if we got stuck with Muriel and Jacqueline, but he probably won't fucking play.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
and shit.
Regardless of the way you want to look at it, he's either gone in July or he's gone in December or January. Like it's just bound to happen. But are we going to be proactive or are we going to be reactive? Like, are we going to look to sign someone before he goes, or are we going to wait until the last minute like we did this time?
I think
we better be in talks right now.
Say it again.
We better be in talks with people right now.
The thing is, you'd hope so, but we could also pull the same shit we did this past offseason and sign Muriel at the window and miraculously got saved with Duncan staying here with all the paperwork issues.
I think Duncan is going to want to move summer window because he doesn't want the January window is way more hectic than the summer window. So I think if he wants a move, I don't really blame him. Still didn't blame him in January. I think he would be right to move in the summer, go spend the preseason with your team, go get acclimated. It's the right thing for his career. He hasn't had to jump in the middle of the season. Let him go do his thing. He deserves it. And I hope he does well wherever he goes if he does go. But I think we would have to bring someone in because as of right now, you can't rely on Muriel to be your guy for the rest of the season.
I'm so grateful that guy submitted the paperwork late.
It wasn't late. He clicked save instead of submit.
Oh, well, I'm glad he was a fucking donut. How about that?
And they stayed up. No harm, no foul.
Either way, botched from all angles.
Yep.
Well, there's not really much more we can really say at this point. It's just match after match just kind of going by at this point. I had a conversation with someone else out in the parking lot before the match saying it was just kind of going to the matches is a chore now. You feel like you have to be there. It's not as enjoyable. And I feel like that's kind of a common theme just amongst the fan base right now. So I think everybody's hoping that we can just get out of that slump, get back to enjoying going to these matches, having them be enjoyable. But as of right now, I just don't see that happening.
There's got to be some big changes. There's got to be huge changes for that to happen. I mean, there's nothing pointing in the right direction right now. So it's almost at the point where it's like scrap everything and start over.
Mhm.
which sucks to hear because we've got important matches coming up soon. So we got to figure it out within the next 7 days.
I think these two matches could be an absolute dagger for Oscar if we don't pick up. I want to say it's
point.
bad that I was going to say 2. Just get 2 draws. But Philly's been decent recently, and then obviously Fort Lauderdale is Fort Lauderdale, and that's just what we're gonna have to deal with.
Can't wait till we don't have Duncan next year and we have to deal with Di Maria and everyone under the sun playing down there. It's going to be fun. Wow.
Life is so good.
Oh, life is fantastic. You're saying?
Exciting times.
No. Well,
Chelsea saved me on Sunday. I'm gonna be honest with you.
7th place. Imagine not being in the top 7.
Shameless.
That is all that I have to say if we want to wrap it up, unless somebody else has got a talking point.
We still suck.
Figure the fuck out.
Free Laura.
Free Laura, there you go.
Free Laura.
All right, wrap it up, Cannata.
We appreciate y'all for listening to this episode. If you like what you heard here, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell so you can catch all the content as soon as it comes out. Check the description on here if you're on YouTube to see the links to all our social medias. Check out our Patreon. We put some fun stuff up on there, different types of content. Saw a little teaser for an episode on there with our socials. So make sure you check that out. Join our Discord so you can get in on all the conversations, and we will see you all on the next one.